Alright, video producers, this is your first tutorial of the year. We're here in After Effects. Now to find After Effects, go to the lower left hand corner, type in After Effects. Now my After Effects here is a little bit different. I've got CC 2017, don't worry about that. We're going to do the same stuff. Okay, so you click on that. A little window will pop up and you're going to click on New Composition and then OK. We're going to make a different composition from that anyway, so you shouldn't really need to worry about it. Okay, we're going to start by going to File, Import, and File. And in here, we're going to get the MVI 11.mp4 file. So I've downloaded it. My downloads here. Bear with me for a minute. Here it is, MVI 011. I'm going to click on Import, and it's the only thing I have in here right now. You might have a composition in here, but we're going to make a composition from this. So we right click and New Comp from Selection. The nice thing about always making your selections from actual footage is that it's always going to fit the footage when you bring it back into Premiere. Alright, so now I have this and I'm going to trim the beginning of it and I'm going to start to stack these clips. So this first piece of footage here starts, I don't know, I'm going to start it right about there and I'm going to drag the end here in, just shift that forward, and then when I get up to go to the next position here, that's when I'm going to split this layer. And I do Control, Shift, and D on the keyboard. You can also go up to Edit and Split Layer. And then I'm going to trim off all the stuff at the beginning here. So as I'm pulling the hood down, that's where I want to start. So I'm going to trim this, drag this forward, and go to the part where I start to move again, right about there. Control Shift D, or Edit Split Layer there. Okay, sit down in the next position. Bring that forward. And Control Shift D. And Control Shift D. Slide that forward. And this last one is optional. Now this person in the foreground here presents a lot of problems. So if you don't want to do the advanced thing here, skip this portion. And here's a really good shot of my bald spot right there. Okay, so now that I have these, I'm going to do some masking, kind of like we used to do back in video 1, but we're going to use the pen tool here. So I'm going to go right around here. I'm going to try and keep it pretty close to me. So I click and click until I get all the way around, and you start to see the next layer of me over there. But we have a problem with this layer, and this is where the advanced part comes in. Is we actually have to animate this mask so it stays pretty close to me. Okay, but for right now, I'm going to go through. I'm going to click the eyeball here so I can concentrate on this guy. And I'm going to cut out each layer. So I click on the layer, And go to the next layer. Go around that layer. Go to the next layer. Click on that layer. Do a mask around that layer. Finally, I leave the bottom one alone. Okay? So hopefully we should be able to see all of our layers here. Now if you notice, this is the problem where it kind of cuts off this other layer here. And you can see these lines here. So we're going to adjust these layers a little bit. I'm going to open up this one, open up masks, and open up mask 1. And we're going to feather this about 20 pixels to make it less noticeable where the mask cuts off. So now it kind of just blends in. So click on the layer, do the triangle, go to mask 1, feather, change that to 20, and we'll do that to all of them. So just feathering the mask a little bit there gives us some better results. Alright, so on this front guy here, I need to animate these points around the head here so it doesn't cut off the guy in the background. Now I move around quite a bit here. Now, for your purposes, you're not ready to animate this stuff yet, but I'm going to show you in case you want to learn. Okay, as we get later on in the course, you're going to do more animation like this. So, for the most part, just don't do this clone. 5 of me is enough of a class. Okay, but let's say you're going to go the extra mile. You're going to animate this. I'm going to open up the masks here. I'm going to go to mask path, and I'm going to click on the stopwatch here for mask path. And now I'm going to animate these points. Now in the timeline here, it drops little diamonds. And that's to indicate that it's changing at different points in time. And this is what gets a little tedious about this, is every time I move, I gotta move the mask so you can see the me in the background, but also still see me in the foreground. This is what we call rotoscoping. This is a tedious process, but you can create some really cool effects. In the movies, people do this professionally. The professional rotoscopers and matte painters that sit there, and on every frame of the film, they'll change the mats here. So I've actually selected multiple ones by kind of drawing a box around them. Oh, that was a big mistake. Alright, adjust those points. And on the keyboard, I'm holding Shift and doing page down at the same time. So those two buttons allow me to kind of jump forward and backward in time. And I got to be a lot more careful because I've cut off the arm. So this is the tedious process of going around and animating this mat. So I'm going to go through and animate this entire mat by going forward a few frames with Shift and page down, or just hitting page down, and moving the points. And I'll come back when I'm done.